Here I'm using an eyebrow brush to brush my hairs in place. I'm then going to be using a dark brown liner from NYC Color, and I'm lining the top and the bottom of my eyebrow. My eyebrows stop short. They don't go out as far as they should, nor do they come in as close as they should, so I'm filling in those areas. Here I'm creating my shape, and you'll see that it becomes almost like a fill in the box kind of thing. So I'm using the makeup pencil to help guide me where my eyebrow should begin. On this side, I need to fill in a lot more because I have less hair here than on the other side. I'm just going to keep doing this until I get the general shape that I want. In the beginning, it's going to look a lot thicker than it will end up. Now, this is my personal way of doing my eyebrows. You can adjust this or use different products where you see fit, but this is what works for me. Now I'm going to take a brow powder. In this case, it is a miniature detail brush filled with brownie liner, and I'm using that powder to fill in those areas that I had already outlined. And it helps also make it more natural in color and tone. I really do not like using a black brow powder unless I want an extreme effect. And now I'm just going around and creating the shape, extending it, and making sure that it doesn't look penciled on the end. Now I'm using a concealer, and this is a neutral concealer. These will be available soon. And I'm using that to go under my brow and actually trace the line that I just created. And if you notice, it looks crisp and clean. And I just rub it into my actual eyelid and eye area, just kind of bring it down onto my brow bone, into my crease area. And this just helps define the shape and make it more crisp and clean. And you'll see that the definition is already taking place. And I just blend that in a bit so it's not so obvious. Here I'm using the eyebrow brush to brush the hairs back into place. And this just helps it become even more defined and appear more natural. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a blending brush, and I will be using this brush to blend where my brow begins, so that way it looks less harsh and starts to really look like a natural brow in the beginning, and then it just kind of intensifies as it goes out. Now I'm using my concealer again to redefine the brows, and I kind of go back and forth a little bit with this, so that way if they're the right size and shape in comparison to one another, that concealer really helps to fix some of the mistakes sometimes if I go a little outside, or I make my eyebrow a little thicker on one side than the other. That concealer really helps clean that up really quickly. Now I'm going on top to make it defined, and I'm blending that in too, so that way it's not just a... Now I'm going to use the concealer in the middle, around the edges, and I smile because this actually helps me discern whether or not the eyebrows are even or not going to look correctly when I go about my day-to-day activities. It also helps me know whether or not I'm going to have that surprised look when you arch your eyebrows too high. So when you see me doing that, I'm not just trying to look cute. I'm definitely trying to make sure that my eyebrows look good. So I'm blending the concealer in here, just going back and forth till I'm kind of satisfied with the line. And going over again with the brush. Okay, so that part's done. I'm gonna fill in the areas that I feel like over blended. Also I cleaned up that arch too with them to make the arches the same. Right now it's just a matter of symmetry, just going back and forth to make sure that they look the same. Okay, so at this point I'm going to go on top now with the concealer brush, and right in the middle to clean up,